Welcome back. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Griha. Telangana has completed a caste survey and the report is set to be tabled in the Assembly on Tuesday. According to this caste survey report, backward classes constitute up to 56.3% of the population in Telangana, while scheduled castes account for 17.4% and scheduled tribes are 10.45% of the population. Other castes are around 15.79% in the state. Now, speaking in the parliament today and citing this very report, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, reiterated the demand for a caste census. He has said how this particular exercise that has been executed in Telangana has shown that Dalits, tribals, backward communities and minorities account for 90% of the state's population. And with that, he said that he's convinced that's the story across the country as well. But Congress's move also puts them on the back foot, because ahead of the civic body elections in the state of Telangana, the backward classes have now demanded a 42% reservation, warned of massive agitations if the demands are not met. So let's first take a look at what the report that's been tabled by the Telangana government really takes into account. Now, first takeaway that we are learning from this particular report, that survey, is that backward classes constitute to up to 56.33% of the population in the state, and scheduled castes account for 17.3% of the total population. As far as the third takeaway, we're also learning how scheduled tribes make up to 10.45% of the total population and 15.79% of other castes are in the state of Telangana, out of which Muslims constitute to about 12.56% of the total population. And within that demography, we also know how 12.56% of that are in fact backward Muslims that make up, they in fact constitute 10.08%, and just 2.48% constitute to the other backward classes within the Muslim community. Now, but here's how Revanth Reddy's cabinet really looks like, because we have to in fact look within while pointing fingers to the others, and this is what and why the Rahul Gandhi-led Congress party could find itself in the dock. Now, 7 people, including the Chief Minister Revanth Reddy, are from forward caste. 2 of the members are from the backward caste, 2 are from the scheduled caste, and 1 person is from the scheduled tribe. So this is the composition of the Revanth Reddy cabinet, and hence we are asking that this Telangana caste census really is a debate that's strongly going on. This has found resonance in the budget session of the parliament as well. But whether or not Congress is on the back foot before the civic body polls in Telangana.
The whole purpose of the survey will be defeated.
Almost 90% of Telangana is either Dalit, Adivasi, backward or minority. Almost 90%. And I am convinced that that is the story across the country.
So we immediately demand the Congress government to give the local body reservation of 56.3% and only then conduct the local body elections.
Caste is a reality, region is a reality, religion is a reality. How to respect all these things and how to carry inclusive growth by involving everybody. That is important.
Taking this to my guest on the broadcast this evening, NV Subhash of Telangana Bharatiya Janata Party is with us. Also with us is Srinivas Reddy of the Congress Party. And also joining us this evening is Ravula Sridhar Reddy, senior leader of the BRS. Now, Srinivas Reddy, I'd begin with you. there seems to be a lot of ambiguity of the demands that have been made by Rahul Gandhi and in turn by the Congress party. I'd like to understand how at all is Rahul Gandhi really using the Telangana model or the survey report as an example in demanding a caste census? What is it that he is looking at here?
Thank you, Grihaji. As we have seen, our LOP speaking in the parliament today, Telangana has conducted the caste survey, caste census, and has submitted its report to the cabinet. I think the cabinet subcommittee meeting will be held tomorrow, after which the report will be put forth before the assembly. Rahul Gandhi ji has spoken about the caste census. It was a promise made by the Congress party in its manifesto before the assembly elections in Telangana here. And as part of the promise made by the party in its manifesto, our chief minister has diligently conducted the caste census survey, and a report has been, it's being submitted tomorrow to the cabinet subcommittee, I mean to the state cabinet, and after the cabinet gives approval, it will be going towards the assembly, wherein the discussions on the committee would, the reports would be taken.
Yes, Srinivas, but I want to understand from you that Rahul Gandhi is claiming this as a Telangana model that needs to be taken up in the rest of the country, but what really is the Telangana model?
Telangana model, as far as Telangana model is concerned, we have promised that we would undertake the caste survey report, which we have done. The report is being tabled in the assembly tomorrow. Basically, what we are trying to do is give once all the reports. This is only the first step towards giving opportunities and giving strengthening the OBCs, Dalits, and Adivasis in the future endeavors, political or other.
So why not start from the cabinet? Why not start from the Revanth Reddy cabinet? I have just mentioned what is the entire composition of the Revanth Reddy cabinet. How much of that representation is really being seen there? Just 3 leaders, maybe 5.
As of now, as I said, this is only the first. This is only the first step. As far as the promise made by the Congress government has conducted the survey report. The report results of the report are there. Survey are there. Tomorrow the report is being tabled in the assembly. Once the report is tabled and discussions take place, whatever the recommendations are, whatever the recommendations of the assembly, state assembly might
Mr.
be
Ravula
there,
Reddy, would you call this a welcome step? Right ahead of Telangana Assembly and the tabling of this particular report tomorrow, would you call this a welcome step? The census. Mr. Ravula Sridhar Reddy.
Yeah, can you just come again?
Yeah, I wanted to understand, is the BRS calling this a welcome step in Telangana?
See, as far as BC reservation, we don't have any problem. But the way this caste census was done, it is not proper, and this survey report is with full of flaws. There was no scientific approach towards it. It was not properly done. There is no sanctity to this report because they themselves have, made it clear that only 96.9% families have, given their information. 3.1 lakh families have not given the information. So without having 100% information of the total number of families in the state, how can you declare it's a proper report? So we have doubts, and not only me, not only BRS party, and their own party leaders, many of the activists from the BC reservation groups or OBC welfare groups and all, they also have expressed doubts over the sanctity of this report, which they are planning to table tomorrow in the assembly. And this shows clearly the lack of sincerity in the approach from Congress Party Telangana, and Mr. Rahul Gandhi taking this as an example. I'm really, doubt their integrity on the entire activity. Whether they are trying to just wish away just by tabling a report which is not proper, because it was done in haste in 15 days' time. There was no proper manpower deployment, and in many of the places, even the enumerators have gone, could not collect the details properly. Many of the places, they have pasted the stickers, but the information was not given to them. There was so many flaws and gaps in this particular survey. I doubt the sincerity, rather integrity of this particular.
Okay, before I allow Mr. Srinivas Reddy to respond to that, I would bring in Mr. N.V. Subhash. Mr. Subhash, Rahul Gandhi is claiming that Telangana model is a glorious, a glowing example of what should be done in the rest of the country. Here we have one opposition party in Telangana claiming that this survey has been hastily done. There is no scientific proof to the conduction of this particular survey. It's not done in the apt way. Now that Rahul Gandhi has taken that matter up in the parliament, how is the BJP really, countering the claims that he's making? If at all the Bharatiya Janata Party chooses to counter it, or is it an implementation that the BJP nationally will look at? Because eventually that is what has been the demand so far.
Good evening, ma'am, and to all the panelists here. First of all, I would like to say that Revant Reddy and his, the colleague team are completely misleading Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party in the center. Why? Because the Bharatiya Janata Party Telangana claims that this kind of survey is unscientific, it's unconventional, and it is only to blame the center. See, just because they have given, in the manifesto that they wanted to conduct a survey and then do the reservations and then put it in the assembly and then blame it on center, there are so many Supreme Court judgments that 50% cap should be done, 50%, more than 50% reservation should not be done on that. And while Revant Reddy was in opposition, when, BRS party under the leadership of KCR as the chief minister, he has done this, the survey, he said it is unscientific, it is invasion of privacy. And if, the enumerators who have gone, who have come to all the houses here, most of the houses that they could not do, even in the applications, there are so many flaws. And people, there is a blank, there is, which caste you belong, people have left it blank. How can the Telangana government hastily, within, 1 month or 1.5 months, they can say that, they have completely done the survey on that. And this is completely an, false survey. We can say, it is a false survey. Traditionally, the Congress, the party, under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi, and including, the Rajiv Gandhi also, they could not implement the Mandal Commission. The Mandal Commission report in that. And, the Congress party in the Karnataka, though they have done the survey, they could not do it. This is hastily done. We feel that it is very, very unscientific done, because last time, what we have, the census, what I have the information, it was 56%. Now they have reduced it to 46%. The Bharatiya Janata Party demands that if you are really sincere about it, why don't Revant Reddy's government go to the Supreme Court and then file a review petition on that, about the Supreme Court, about the capping of the 50% reservations, more than 50% reservations. Why can't they do that? And as you rightly said, ma'am, that first, if they are so serious about it, they should first make the cabinet prune and then make more BCs on that. The Bharatiya Janata Party is not against the caste census, because in the budget also today, Nirmala Sitharamanji, 564 crores have been allotted for doing the caste survey. And in the Bharatiya Janata Party cabinet, as well as MPs also, we have largest number of OBCs, BCs, including the cabinet. So we demand that.
All right, Srinivas Reddy, respond please. The feasibility of implementation is being questioned. It's unscientific. That is what BJP and the BRS are claiming. And the fact that look within is also a question that the BJP is, mentioning here. Something that I mentioned. What about your own cabinet, Srinivas?
Looking within our own cabinet definitely will be taken care of by. As far as the scientific reasoning is concerned, this has been done very scientifically. More than 1.1 lakh surveyors have gone for the past 1.5 month, nearly 50 days they have done the survey, and after which getting most of the data from the households, which has been compiled and then submitted. It is not as though nothing scientific has been done. They don't have the interest of doing anything, and they would always like to point fingers at somebody who wants to do anything. So I don't think I can consider the claims of both the parties that there is lack of sincerity or it has been done hastily or something of that sort.
Okay.
We have done it very scientifically, and there was no haste in that. It's almost 13 months now after the elections that the report has come out. It's not as though immediately after the election something has been done and after immediately just to...
Right. Ravula, you wanted to make a point. I want to also understand from you what had stopped the BRS when it was in power.
You're not clear.
Yeah, I wanted to understand what stopped the BRS when it was in power. Why not go ahead with this such a census, which of course is taking a cue from the Bihar example? Why did you guys not do it?
See, BRS government always worked for the upliftment of these communities and the kind of welfare and development schemes which we have implemented. Yes, the caste census was a long pending demand, and what Subhash was saying is also to a certain extent right. But now I also would like to ask my both BJP and Congress doesn't have the sincerity towards this particular thing, because caste census, even at the center, which is pending for a long time, even seeing this particular budget, I don't know how whether Subhash knows it or not. 550 crores is not going to help in any way for a caste census. It could be, we need more than 5,000 crores or something, which was a regular estimate. So that means even this time, BJP is not going to take it up centrally. And Congress survey in Telangana is, I am repeating my statement, it has no scientific approach. It is full of mistakes. It is not a 100% survey. People of all sections, rather entire Telangana, I should say it is rejected by people now. If they table it tomorrow, what they are going to do, they are going to make a resolution in the assembly and send it to the central government. Then ends the matter.
Mr. Subhash, would you like to respond to that? What you said about the budget presentation is really not cutting any ice with the BRS.
See, the budget presentation is 546 crores, that's what we have the information, and 5,800 crores for the population survey. And as far as this is only the blame game. If they are really serious, it's only resolution, ma'am. It's only the resolution. Resolution will be, since they have the majority in the just assembly, they will just do it on that. See, my question is, if you are really sincere about it, there is why don't you put a review petition in the Supreme Court by removing this 50% cap on Supreme Court, because it is very clear. And every day they are changing the equations on that. They are just changing the equations. If they are really sincere about it, they should prune their the cabinet. They should prune their the party part, because there are so many forward class ministers and office bearers in the party also.
Okay.
And where in other Congress ruled states also, they did not do it. Rahul Gandhi is taking only the pilot project in that. How can 90% people be in the BCs from Telangana? Because there are in the survey report, the initial report, what the government has claimed, around 15 to 20% are the forward class, including Muslim class. They have combined the Muslims into OBCs and then the BCs. So this is only the political gimmick, because they wanted to divert the attention, because Revanth Reddy's government is getting so much of opposition, stiff oppositions from his own party members as well as the public, because of the local body elections which are due next year, next month, and then there are legislative council just elections. They are just making it a statement and then putting the blame, because they know very well that even if it is passed in the Assembly of Telangana, it has to be sent to the center.
Okay.
The center definitely will look into this matter. We are committed on that. Since we are committed, we have more number of MPs, MLAs, and
okay, so
in the party
Srinivas,
and in
is
the
that a
cabinet
sword
of Modi,
hanging
where
on
we
the
are,
Congress's
very
head?
sincere.
Because you have local body elections that are coming up. There are agitations that are being, in fact, the other backward communities are warning the Revanth Reddy government of agitation if that 42% reservation really is not given. What is the government planning on doing on that? And that point that Mr. Subhash has raised on other Congress-ruled states really not coming out with a survey. In fact, Siddaramaiah government in Karnataka has been sitting on that survey for so many months now. Why is that happening, and why that discrepancy really?
Let me again come back to what I have stated. What they are saying is Congress ruled states already, which we have committed. We have committed in Telangana that we are going to do the caste survey, and we have done that. And we
But
have
what about Karnataka?
tabled it. Karnataka will be coming up because they have their
Why?
own,
Because it's suiting Siddaramaiah, because he
permutations and
doesn't want to
combinations
come
over
out
there.
with the exact figures of the Vokaliga and Lingayat community, the population, and how much of the population do these communities really constitute, and this will of course be denting his politics. Is that why that report is not yet public?
No, it's not that, but definitely there are some minor issues which are probably pushing them not to table the report. But here is the case of Telangana, where we are discussing about Telangana. Here, when we are discussing about Telangana, tomorrow the report is being tabled in the assembly. After that, it is definitely going to the center. Let us see what they are going to do. What we had to do, we are doing. It is up to them now.
Srinivas, you've not answered both the questions. You are talking about how we're discussing about Telangana. We're also talking about nationally how the caste census, and that's the demand of the Congress party unilaterally, that nationally there needs to be a caste census, out of which there is another Congress ruled state, that is Karnataka. You've completely steered away from that question, that they must be having their own trappings and that's why they have not done it. What about this implementation before the local body elections in Telangana?
The Karnataka government is also on there doing it, and definitely the report will also come out. As far because every state has got its own permutations.
How long it will take?
There are certain issues over there because of which it is being delayed. But we are only talking about 2 Congress-ruled states. What about the rest of India, where the NDA is ruling? What are they trying to do? They are only trying to point out that these 2 states are 2 states which Congress is trying to do something. They want to gain points even there by saying that you are not doing over here and you are not doing over there. You are doing here, but what about you? You are not doing anywhere.
Srinivas,
We are willing to do everywhere if we come to power in the center and different states.
All right, with that, I'd like to thank my guests. Thank you so much for, in fact, sharing your views and making this really civil. We'd have to see if at all that implementation that Srinivas Reddy is really promising for Karnataka really happens soon, because Siddaramaiah surely is sitting on that report, and whether or not that entire tirade that the Congress leadership under Rahul Gandhi really chooses to launch at the center, whether it is going anywhere or whether it is, in fact, putting a trap on the Congress itself. Well, we'll have to see and wait and watch which way is this fight really headed. With that, it's a wrap from my side. Thank you so much for watching. Please.